Here's the intake manifold for my Lightning pickup, and I got it pretty well cleaned up on the outside, and so I'm going to get ready to put this thing back on the truck. We have a fresh set of intake gaskets here. The part number is MS16342. It's a Molly unit, and basically it has a new gasket in here for between the plenum and the supercharger. I won't be using that in this case, but it's here if you need it. So we're going to get that opened up and get this intake on the truck. I just opened these intake gaskets and it looks like those might not be Molly gaskets after all. Alright, but before I put my intake manifold on, I'm going to put these heater hoses in because I won't be able to reach the one in the back. So this one right here goes onto the hose that comes out the back of the water pump and kind of 90s up at the back of the cylinder head. And the other one goes onto the line that comes off of the intake manifold. There's like a 90 that comes up, this hooks onto that. So I'm just going to use some regular hose clamps on the bottom because the old ones are gone. But anyway, this should be nice and easy. Alright, so I got this first hose on. Everything looks good, tightened up. And then actually if you get down in here real close, you can actually see this hose is an extension. Much the same as this one is an extension. That one was sitting on there like that, so you pull it off. I'm gonna do the same thing with this other one. Get this little clip, O-ring, and plastic washer off of there, and then this will swing up right like that, and it'll be about perfect. So that's gonna be really nice. Let's get to it. Alright, so that hose is on there and that looks really awesome. That's about as good as you're going to get for fitment. So now I can put the intake manifold on and I'll get the other hose fitted. So the intake manifold sitting in here. Those hoses look real nice. That's going to be much more convenient for getting that coil out and spark plug. So very nice. You can see here that's actually a plug in the back of that intake. I actually, it's been years ago now, took that out. There's a fitting on the back side, as in down behind there, that you have to take out, and you just unthread it and you thread this in from the inside to take its place. That's just an NPT plug, and that of course keeps that line from failing because now it's deleted on the back and having a vacuum leak, and it just kind of simplifies some of the routings of the hoses and other things in this engine. So I'm going to go ahead and get the intake manifold tightened down. Just got 9 bolts here, I think. That should be easy enough. Alright, so now that the intake manifold's put on, I can go ahead and put the thermostat in. So the thermostat goes in that direction with the O-ring on top. Here's the O-ring for a separate part number. I ordered this and probably won't end up using it, but that's the part number, and we'll get this thing put in. So while I'm in here, I have gotten 8 new spark plugs. They are BR7EF spark plugs by NGK. And so I have them all gapped at 28 thousandths right here. And that's a pretty common gap for boosted cars. And so basically what you're gonna do is grab one of these, and they come right around that, so some of them I had to open and some of them I had to close. This thing is a piece of junk except for the part of it that you can use to actually open the gap. So I would recommend using a more proper feeler gauge. But yeah, gap those out and get them installed. the ignition components installed. I have these fuel injectors now, and these are Deatschwerks 95s. They're a 1000cc injector, and basically there's a shop local to me, Honda Repair, and the guy has some really nasty cars that all run on E85, and so anyway, he was saying that he only does his like every 6 years or something like that, and so this has been 2 years, so I just wanted to be safe. They run heptane through them to clean them all out, so they've been flow tested and everything's legit. These injectors specifically come with a little adapter that goes from the truck's harness right here to this type of connection for the injector, so just something that you need with a later model injector. Alright, so we got the fuel injectors in, and I have my 1997, they're actually Expedition rails, and I have my boost reference fuel pressure regulator on there. It's an AccuFab unit, and then also the conversion from AN line to the actual fuel rail. You can get that from Summit or something like that. And this guy is for the return line. This one is the feed line. And so anyway, I got these all cleaned up. You can get these cheap, and just a little brake clean and rust preventive. They look great.